consistently, all year long. And that's how you grow the business, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I've been learning is it takes the marketing
Yeah. Yeah.
and and that I'm lacking in an experience in. That's where I need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
think
why we
most
exist. It's I make jokes about the fact that, like, early on in, like, the evolution, the arc of the business, we built a web solution. We believe our web solution is the best solution for selling art out there. Not like there's a tremendous amount of competition, because there's not that much competition. Most of the other platforms are not built to sell art. Problem we found is that, like all of you guys on here, none of you have a website problem. If I was the genie that just came out of the lamp and I said, boom, I'm going to move your website wherever you want me to move it to, and I snap my fingers and I move your entire website to the best platform ever, ours or anywhere else, you know what changes in the business? Absolutely nothing, because no one is coming to the website in the first place. So we realized we had to fix the marketing problem, and that's what we do. We're essentially just a college that teaches our customers marketing all year long and never stops. That's it.
yeah, that's what I found out. And you guys have been real inspirational in that to me.
Awesome.
And I want to join the art storefront, so I think I'm going to take all the money that I've been spending on boosting and Facebook ads and stuff and start putting it away so I can save the money to join.
There you go. There you go. If for,
Because I've been
if for no other reason than saving you the lighting the money on fire with boosting posts, I feel like we're already ahead, Ken. We're already ahead.
all right.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
All right, Susan, you're up next. Go ahead, Susan.
Yes, when you're talking about the websites and everything like that,
Mhm.
I have done websites, perfect, beautiful websites,
Yep.
and no, people are not going to those
Yeah,
websites.
I
I
know.
don't know how to make it any better. And I know marketing, which we just talked because I asked the other question,
Mm-hmm.
but I still can't fathom if I don't have a website, what do I do? Because I'm tired of building them and I'm tired of
Yeah, it's a
paying the
complete waste.
money
Yeah, it's a
because
complete
to
waste
me
of
it's
time.
out the window.
Yeah, it's a complete waste of time. It is out the window. I mean, you have to fix the marketing problem, right? Until you fix the marketing problem, the business will never grow. And so
And
that's
so the in person is the only way to get started, or is there any, or is the live, the only two things is like the live broadcast or the
no,
live,
no, 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 not
or in
necessarily.
person?
I mean, effective marketing can sort of be thought of as like a balanced diet, right? You have to be capturing emails all year long. There's ways to do that digitally. There's ways to do that in-person real world scenarios, assuming that's something you have available. You have to be emailing those emails consistently. You have to be posting on the socials on a regular basis. You have to learn how to run sales when the time is appropriate, and all of the mechanics of a sale, how to tease a sale, how to announce a sale, how to contemplate the discount, what to do before, during, and after the sale, how you end the sale, how you extend the sale. You need to be running sales on the biggest days of the year. Okay, it's very, very important. And you need to be doing all of that all year long consistently. Now, you certainly don't need us to learn how to do all this. The internet can teach you just about all of it. The difference with us is that we teach you in a very focused fashion how to do all of the above. And perhaps more important than the teaching, we hold you accountable, right?
Okay,
We make sure
that may be where
oh my gosh,
I fail, but no,
you
I have
it's
that
so
was
hard. It is so hard. I've literally learned, like, you know, I mentioned earlier I hate being on video. I hate being on video. Okay, I just do. Prior to the pandemic, I was never on video. You didn't even know what I looked like. I had a podcast, so you could hear the podcast, right? Pandemic came, we realized we had to, like, up our game. So we started running workshops with our customers. And I go and I look, and it's like I run all of these live art shows and figure this out, right? And I make this amazing guide, a different version of it a little bit, that we show my customers. And I'm like, guys, this is the greatest thing ever. Get going, go run one. Look what's going to change in your business. Do you know how many of them run them? Almost none, because it turns out they're all terrified of public speaking. They're all terrified of being on video. And it's like, you can't just have the website solution. You can't just have the best marketing education. You have to hold folks accountable and continue encouraging them and support them so that they can feel like, you know what, this is something that I can do, and I'm going to do it. And to be honest with you, it's part bribery, part extortion, part screaming and yelling, part encouragement, part like peer groups, like other friends, that you see doing it. Like if they're doing it, I can do it. Part support. So all the other times where you hit a wall technologically, then you just quit. We can't let that happen anymore. And that part is just as important as having, like, here's how you market, here's how you capture email addresses, here's how you do the rest of it. Like, it takes time. It takes time. But I remain of the opinion, been doing this for a while, talking to a lot of folks, that it's the only way that you're going to make it. It's the only way anyone really stands a chance in making it. Like, the folks that are actually doing really well in the gallery and their business is growing year over year is kind of like the number of people you know from your high school that went to the professional sports. Like, most people can say like maybe one or not at all. And that's sort of the odds in my mind of making it. And so it's like, if you know that, why the heck would everybody be optimizing that way? You know, it's even lower for the folks that are trying to throw all their stuff up on a marketplace, right? Like Fine Art America or Art.com or Etsy or Saatchi. Like, I talked to thousands and thousands and thousands, and no one ever comes on and says, oh, it's working so well for me. All I get is the, like, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. And I know it works for some folks. It's just the odds are really, really low, right?
And I think it's hard to get an audience to go to those websites, and that was where I failed. Meta tags, putting it on.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna. Yeah,
things,
that's not gonna do.
Those
anything.
are things I did, but it still failed, and I was frustrated with it, and that's where I have quit.
Yep.
And I'm trying to find a better venue for my husband and my artwork, because I'm a photographer and I'm also a jewelry artist, and it's frustrating because I can't. And people see my stuff, people have seen his stuff, they like it, but we can't seem to fall past that. And that's where I didn't have an MBA in marketing. So
it wouldn't even matter if you did. You're probably worse off if you did, to be honest with you. Like, everyone that I get that's like, ooh, I have a background in marketing, I have a background in marketing, I have a background in marketing. I'm like, well, what are you doing on this call then? Right? Like, the ones that have like the extensive background in marketing are actually a lot of times worse off, because the rest of them come in with the cup empty, right? And they're like, okay, I don't know what I don't know. Teach me, and then I'll start doing it consistently. And they're better off versus the other ones. You know, we give like.
How long do you suggest for your the live videos?
Oh, it's like the game of golf. There's you need the entire club, bag full of clubs, right? There's the pitching wedge, and then there's the driver, and there's the clubs in between. You could have a video as long as 1 minute, and it gets the job done. Some of them could be 2 hours, everything in between. You'll never know until you do about 50 to 100 of them.
It's like painting. Never mind.
It is like painting. It is like painting, right?
I was going to say, it was like painting a nude. My husband says it's like painting a nude. You got to do 50 or 200 of them to get it right the first time.
Yep. Completely right.
And he's now painting geese.
Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, we could help you. You should see a demo. But again, like the commitment is to like doing the regular, ongoing, and consistent marketing. And I trust me, I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
And I guess maybe that's where I'm falling, is I don't know those venues well enough to be able to use them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. None of the things that I say in that session are hyperbole. Like, I had 2 guys on one session, and one guy was 90. This was like a month ago, and his name was Gordy Swayze. I'll never forget his name, Gordon Swayze. And he's like, I want to sign up. This sounds like awesome. It's something that I got to do. And then he sent me an email later. He's like, just know that I take frequent naps, and I love that man. He's just hilarious. Makes me laugh. And then another guy that was on the call was like, just tell Gordon, that kid, that he's got plenty of time left. And the guy was 94. And I'm like, that is just insane. That's just amazing. Like, I do marketing and marketing strategy for a living. When I retire, I am done, Susan. I am done with my marketing days. I'm going to enjoy my retirement. You guys don't switch off. You guys are going to be artists. It's the way God made you, or whoever you think made you, and it doesn't end. And so the reason I say that is, like, you have to have the perspective of, how long you have still to get the whole thing right and get it going. So that's what I'd say.
Well, thank you for your information. I appreciate all of that. Yeah. I've gained some insight from this video, so appreciate the time.
Good. Thanks, Susan. All right. Who's doing Instagram Reels on here? I would love to see show of hands. Well, there's not that many cameras on left, or throw into the chat if you are doing Reels. And do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say Reels? Most of you guys do. It is the single solitary most amazing thing and I could go into all the reasons why. So I might as well just get one on the feed. So if you go to the regular Instagram feed and you're scrolling through, I'll wait till I find one. Is that one? Is that one? Yeah, that's one. I know it's not one. That's just a video. We're going to find one here. Hold on. There's one. No, that's a video too. Why can't I find one today? They're essentially videos that are 1 minute or less. A lot of times they have audio in them. Sometimes they don't, and you can just sit here and scroll on Instagram and go from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. And they're completely changing the way that folks are marketing and selling art. Instagram, Meta, whatever you want to call it now, it's about to be Meta, has already come out and said in their last quarterly earnings report that a little bit over 20% of the folks of the overall time spent on Instagram is spent in Reels, right? So they're incredibly popular and powerful in that capacity alone. But even more so, they represent a fundamental change to the normal social media compact that we're all living under, meaning I do marketing on social media. I get people to follow me on social media. They are the only ones that see my post, okay? So they're the only ones that see my post. And so I can do marketing. And if I build followers, some small portion will see my post. And that's awesome, right? But you have to work real hard to build those followers. That is the way that social media has gone for quite some time now. And we're still, it's not like the good old days, like when Facebook and Instagram started, where you would see 100% of the posts of the people that you follow. And then all of that changed, and you only see like 10% of the people that you follow, right? So with Reels, because TikTok is coming for Instagram's throat, they're very worried about that. And so they've essentially copied TikTok's product verbatim, okay, and called it Reels. You can almost not even tell the difference between their product, YouTube's product, and TikTok's product. You don't have to worry about YouTube or TikTok. All you have to focus on is Instagram because it's the most important platform. But because Instagram needs this product to win, they are incentivizing all of us to create them by showing it to way more people, okay, than follow you. You don't even actually need followers. You could go on with 0 followers on Instagram, create a very compelling reel, and get 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views and 150 followers on the first one. That's never been the case. We used to have to pay for ads to do that, right? Ken used to have to boost posts to do that, but Ken is no longer going to boost posts, right, Ken? Right, Ken? I'm on my phone. Anyway, these represent a fundamental shift in what's going on in the social media landscape. That is one of the highest leverage things you can be doing. Yes, the live art shows are equally important, but I sort of put them in different categories, running a live art show versus creating a reel. So they're really, really, really insanely powerful. I recommend all of you guys check them out. Step 1 is just to start consuming them. Step 2, write down the kinds of ones that you like. Step 3, start creating them. And then step 4, Susan, you'll like this advice, make hundreds of them, right? No different than the live art show, because that's how you find out where the sweet spot is. But we have customers that are exploding their follower counts, okay? And, I love showing, who do I always show? Oh, yeah, I show Kelly. So this gal's a customer, and you can see she's got 7,000 followers on Instagram, right? If I go to her Reels, I can scroll up and see the following counts on some of her Reels. And some of her Reels, not every single solitary one is a home run, but some of them have like 10,000 and 12,000. Like, how does this one have 10,000? She only has 7,000 followers. I'll tell you how it does, because that many people are watching, are getting served this that don't follow her. And so she's using them like crazy to generate follower counts. What's more, not that anyone needs to hear this or not know this, but TV is dead. As we know it, TV is dead. It's going to die out with the older generation. No one's watching it anymore. Now, when people get home at the end of the day and they want their brain switched off and they just want to be fed content and not do anything, Reels and their contemporaries on YouTube and everywhere else are taking over. And what's so interesting about it is, like, when you come up here and search, okay, and you can put in any niche you want, okay? It doesn't matter to me what your niche is. It could be landscape photography. Let's just see if I could type. I got to get a little keyword for this thing. Landscape photography. What happens is 2 things. 1, sometimes people search, okay? And so I searched landscape photography, right? And I'm going to see if I can find a reel. I'm scrolling up and down. Let's see if I can find one that is landscape photography. It should come in here soon. Is that one? Sometimes it's hard to tell which ones are which. They're usually moving. But the reason I'm showing it this way, and maybe did I do something dumb? Why isn't it? Show me a reel, doggone it. That's one. Is that one? No, it's just a video. course, when I go into demonstration mode, it can't show me. But the way to think about what I just did is I just turned my TV to the landscape photography channel, right? Why there's no reels on here? This is something weird. Did they just update this? That's very, very weird. It's the other thing is like the minute you come off the gas on something or you leave something for 2 seconds, here we go. So here's a reel that was in the landscape photography category, right? Now I'm just going to keep scrolling because I'm into landscape photography. And that was an ad. It's just going to give me a bunch of things that it knows are either tagged as landscape photography or in has a hashtag that says landscape photography or is in that thing. And I'm now tuned my TV instead of ESPN, CNN, Fox News, whatever the heck you watch. I'm just on the landscape photography channel. And people are just doing this on a channel by channel basis. And what's crazy is that Instagram knows when somebody has created something that's awesome, okay? Because if they have people that are watching it all the way through, they give it a little test run after you create it. And if it's exposed to a bunch of people, then they just start exposing it to more people and more people and more people. And Instagram, because it has so much information on everybody, knows who likes landscape photography. So you could be in your feed and you don't even need to be tuned to the landscape photography show. They're just going to start showing you more and more and more of it. So they represent like an incredibly important thing. And not only that, one of the cool things that we're doing, and I'll wrap up with this, and then if anybody has any final questions, they can certainly ask. One of the cool things that we're doing is for any folks, if you're not ready or you just found out about us, don't worry about it. But for any folks that are contemplating signing up, if you sign up this week, we will go and get made for you. I gotta put this on. We're making these custom animations for our customers. And it's their logo, Hollywood style, with visit the link in my bio. And once you have one of these, you can just use them on any reel that you create. I mean, we are so in the weeds for reels. And so, so if anyone signs up, and this one shows off like the wall preview feature, which is like one of the features that our website has, where you could change the colors of the wall. You can move the piece around. You can do all these various different things. We make classy ones. We actually have an in-house agency making these things for our customers now. And, we send them to them. They grab them on their phone. They upload them. And, they're all using them to get followers like never before. As a final, because I get so fired up about this stuff, the way that the world is worked, okay, in social media land is early on, there was Facebook, okay? And Facebook was humming along and kicking butt, and then all of a sudden this new competitor emerged that started taking a bunch of attention away from Facebook, and it was Instagram. And Facebook's like, we don't like this. Go buy them, okay? And Instagram is like, this is a lot of money. I'm willing to sell to Facebook. Boom, they sold to Facebook, okay? Facebook's like, that's our strategy. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just do it again and again and again. So another new entrant came on the scene, and this time it was Snapchat, okay? And Snapchat had this killer feature called Stories. And Mark Zuckerberg's like, go buy them. We need these guys. Go buy them. And the Snapchat guy is like, you know what? Pound sand. I'm not selling to you. I've got a great product. You already own enough. And I'm sure he was very angry, Zuckerberg, about that. And then he realized, wait a minute. We have more eyeballs in Snapchat. We don't need Snapchat. Developers, copy this feature verbatim. So what ended up happening? They copied Stories. Instagram got Stories. They copied the feature verbatim, okay? And it was absolute war between the two of them. And who won? Instagram, because Instagram's got all the attention. Okay, well, now look at the phone on the screen. This is Instagram, right? This is Instagram Reels. You look at it, there is a little title at the bottom. There's music playing. I'm not on this one. Let me get one music. There's like little likes and comments and send and shares. Okay. I'm going to switch to TikTok, and you tell me whether or not you guys can tell the difference.
If I kick in your door with a blank...
Can you tell the difference?
Friends.
I can't tell the difference. It looks the exact same. What about YouTube? Let's see if the YouTube ones look any different. Oh, of course, something went wrong. Retry. Of course, just typical. Right when I'm in display mode. Anyway, when you look at the three different products, they almost look identical, all three of them. They've all just copied each other, and they're all at war with one another, right? And so the point is, if you participate in the war and help Instagram win, they're going to give you a bunch of free followers. which is pretty amazing. So, all right, I think we're going to leave it there. Any final questions? I feel like I've talked myself in circles and running out of gas. I can't tell if that was a question. Jesley, it was. Okay, go.
Hello, thank you so much for having this chat with us. Okay, so two things.
Yeah.
I am working on a collection, and I don't know if anybody else here is familiar with, because I know that it's something that it's for a younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
But I am working on NFTs and trying to generate, my art through there and get attention through there, and basically give it a rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
So have you visited anything on the subject about that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention, you don't mention.
Jesley, are you passionate about crypto? Do you hold crypto? Do you have Bitcoin? Do you have Ethereum? Do you know how it works? Are you interested in the blockchain?
Yes, I actually started with crypto. I made a chunk of change through there, but being an artist, I became more passionate about NFTs because it spoke to me on a more personal and visceral level than just making money.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so both. You're still looking to make money, but you think NFTs
Of course,
have to do it.
Of course, I mean, if I'm going to be an artist, it's not only for the sake of painting a pretty picture, but I want to make a living off of it.
For sure. Do you know the story of Beeple?
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up looking more into it, because I was full on into crypto, and then I heard the story of Beeple, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Do you know how Beeple got there? Do you know the part of Beeple's story they never tell?
No, go ahead.
He did something called the 5,000 Project. You know what it was?
Oh, yes, where he started creating images day after day, and then basically put them all together into a single project, and sort of like the idea it takes 10,000 hours to create a master.
Exactly. Mostly correct, but less about that. He committed to creating an original piece of artwork every day for 5,000 days in a row.
Right.
So, it infuriates me because everyone tells that guy's story about, and in all the headlines, there's how much money he's made selling his NFTs. And then everyone glosses over the fact the guy didn't miss a day in 11.4 years of artwork creation. Okay. Right. So I love crypto. I've bought Bitcoin and sold Bitcoin and Ethereum and a whole bunch of others, and have fun with it, and a hardware wallet. I'm passionate about it, but I don't recommend most artists go right into that, because it's no different. It's all you're doing is adding a whole bunch of friction. Okay. Adding a whole bunch of friction to an art sales process that you don't need. And if you can't do it offline, the chances of being, or can't do it in like the regular digital capacity, the chances of being successful doing it as NFTs, where you're introducing all that additional friction, and my estimation is just not the way that I would go about it, notwithstanding the fact that you love it, right? Because I love it too, and I love everything that the blockchain stands for and what that'll potentially usher in terms of a technology. But I would do it with your margin time and make that your hobby. 95% of your time should be spent trying to build the business direct, because you're going to find it much easier to do so. It's my 2 cents.
Gotcha. All right. And now the other question I had is, just like Instagram, TikTok, and those other social media sites that you were mentioning function as sites where you can show off your work. Pinterest functions in its own way as Google and YouTube do. They're search engines. So what would you say would be a practice for that? Because I know that a lot of people rely on Pinterest for imagery, and along the way they purchase products. In
the 7 years of doing this, I have not seen a single solitary artist that can even tie one sale back to Pinterest.
I see.
Pinterest is great for a lot of things: making boards, browsing fun stuff, getting served too many ads, but it's not for buying art. Don't waste a second of your time on it.
Gotcha.
I love being able to make those calls, by the way, because I've got enough years now where it's like, I've never seen anyone do it, right? So like, I know, people say the same thing about LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn is great for what it is, but it's not the best context to sell art. Instagram is it. Until you max out Instagram, ignore all the others. That's my out of macro advice.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I love crypto, and then I love that you're into it. And you can certainly do it, but trust me, if you're trying to mint every single solitary piece, especially with Ethereum prices, although they've crashed, the gas alone is going to get you, right? The gas fees alone are going to get you. So it's much easier to print out a real work and go and do a booth or a fair or show, or try to sell online without going the crypto route. But yeah, it's an expansion. I could go into the crypto ad nauseum. Anyway, these lights are starting to boil my brain. For anyone that's interested in having a demo and seeing kind of like what we do, big picture, I'm going to just throw the link into the chat. It's essentially a 1-hour Zoom call with somebody on our team that walks you through all the bells and whistles and plans and pricing and everything that we do. So it's a really cool way to do it. And that link is in the chat. And like I said, for anybody that signs up this week, I think until, I don't know, you'd have to ask them when they're running it till, but we'll make through you all those first 4 reels for you, which is kind of cool. Which is a fun thing to put together. But that's what I got. Other than that, I appreciate all of you guys hanging in to the very end. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned some stuff. I will email you the replay in a little bit. It'll have all the links to the various this, that's, and the others that I covered in there. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your weeks. And hope to see you on a future session or on the inside or on a live or somewhere. Thanks, guys.